Life was good. We were blessed. We had been married for a couple of years. We were enjoying life in Singapore, and we had a baby on the way. These were answers to our prayers. These were sources of comfort. However, comfort does have the habit of slipping away. 5 months in and one heartbeat less, we saw the perfect life we pictured slip from our grasp. There was pain, there was brokenness, there was sadness. After months of anticipating joy, we found ourselves in the middle of unimaginable grief. Across Southeast Asia and the Philippines, grief has made itself known to many parents, not due to the loss of a life, but the giving away of one. Soft hands and fragile skin sold to feed mouths and fill pockets for a day. There's no hate in the giving away, only desperation. Desperation brought about by circumstance. Desperation that leads to child trafficking, infant prostitutes, child criminals, abandonment. It's tough to see the demand for such a business at such a high level. Billions of dollars being used to fund the violation of innocent bodies, some too young to even comprehend the pain. Even more, it's tough to know that this is being done in the land we grew up in, right in the city we call home. Our hearts beat for these children, so much so that it beats for a specific one. If we were to be advocates for these children, then we must first be examples. In October 2017, a pregnant mother couldn't keep her child. So with desperation, she searched for someone to be the one to hold her baby in their arms. We wanted to help, and so we did. But we never knew that it would be our hands that God would use to cradle this child. 3 weeks in and one heartbeat more, we had her in our grasp. Our hearts were filled with love and our souls refashioned. We are no heroes, just followers answering a call. Had we chosen to reject the call, turn our heads away, or hesitate even for a moment, our child would have been one of many whose body has become a commodity. She has one less child prostituted, one less child trafficked, one less child abandoned, one less child lost in the system, one less child victim, one less orphan. But she is just one less. There are millions of children out there who may never have access to a family, access to care, to nourishment, to shelter, to safety, to a childhood. But if more people extended their arms to these children, if the stigma behind adoption was redefined to be a culture of love, then 2 less children would be trafficked, 10 less children abandoned, 1,000 less children criminals, 1 million less children victims to this injustice. And instead, more children would be welcomed home by families. We'll treat them with love, provide them with nourishment, house them in shelter, care for their safety, and allow for them to have a childhood. Now the call is great, but the answer is simple. It's a heart willing to serve and a courageous kind of love. It's open arms and open homes. At the Rohe Foundation, we advocate for adoption. As of 2016, 1.8 million children in the Philippines were considered abandoned or neglected. And out of that 1.8 million, only 1,818 were placed for adoption. So as a response, the Rohe Foundation aims to develop programs that provide holistic care for pregnant women in crisis, to rescue babies before they are abandoned and disowned, and to encourage and guide families in their adoption journey. Through this, we hope to see a world where every orphan is adopted into a family, and that all families would be empowered to move in compassion and generosity toward children who need a family. Because at the end of the day, family is the answer.
I didn't carry Milana in my womb for 9 months, but in my heart and in my soul, I've carried her way more than 9 months. She's been a product of our years of prayer and years of conversations with God, and she's ours. She's ours, really and truly. Like, she's ours. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you get what I mean.
When I was asking that question, I realized na, oh nga, how did I overcome that? I think by just God appointing me. He's mine. Moses is mine. God qualified me by giving him to me. So, dun pa lang, nakakalma na yung fears ko na, oh nga, I'm his real mom. Ako yung mom niya. God already qualified me for it. So, he gave Moses to me, so I'm the real mom. And regardless of what happens in the future, my son wanted to meet his biological family one day.
Being a mom starts with really the decision once you say yes. Because people are so afraid to say yes because they want to feel like the mom first. No, you say yes. And then you feel like a mom. You'll just feel that protective side of you, I guess.
Well, I would advise parents who adopted their child to tell their adopted child as early as possible. The younger, the better. And let them say it in a positive way that they're a gift from God.
I think it's teaching me, like I said earlier, just the heart of God is all about sacrifice. And he left the 99 to go after the one. He sacrificed his son to adopt, and learning how to love first with Chloe, and understanding that kind of sacrificial love where it's not about biology, and it's about deciding and choosing, and that it's a privilege. It's really teaching me, that love is action. Love is sacrifice.
It's not about just providing for your family. It's not providing for your family. It's about raising the next generation and allowing them to be impacted by Jesus the way Jesus impacted you. And how you model that. And how can you model if you're not home? How can you model and mentor if you're not home?
Actually, we coin it this way. First, we say, bring your mission home.
Okay.
Everybody has a mission by heart, right? I can't figure out what my mission is. And everyone knows, okay, I give my tithes, I give my money, but there's something I want to do on my own. But I can't go to Timbuktu, I can't go to Africa, I can't go, what's my mission? So we coined the phrase. I said, it's very simple. Bring your mission home.
One way or another, God's going to make sure he's going to provide for you, for your needs, for that child's need. Just do the right part. Someone once said, stop asking God to bless what you're doing. Find out what God's doing because it's already blessed. So I think that we all need to look at, okay, let's not look at what's in front of us as far as finances and our circumstance and all this. Let's just do it, and God's going to bless it somehow, some way. Let's just trust God that he's going to come through for us.
So my advice to all fathers out there, and of course to all parents who be parents, is that just be ready for it, because it's not going to be easy. Sure, yeah. But of course, all the fun that you have and the love that you're going to get from your children makes it worth it. And it's I'll do it 10 times over just to have that feeling of of having children who love you and call you daddy and call you mommy. That's priceless. You can't put a price tag on that.
1.8 million of orphans, neglected, abandoned children. If one church could provide one family, I think by the grace of God, we can see no more orphans in our nation.
And we are live. Oh my gosh, those videos just don't fail to bring tears to my eyes. Anyway, hi everybody, and welcome to Rohe Foundation's live chat. My name is Sonja, and I am an actress. I'm a host. I'm a wife, and most definitely a mother. Aside from that, I am also an advocate for adoption. Having welcomed home our daughter through adoption, my hope is that this same love will be felt by more families just like our guests today. It's going to be an exciting time with them today. But before that, make sure your friends are not missing out. Share this video right now and tag them in the comment section so they can watch with you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to type them down so we can answer them later on in our Q&A together with these very special siblings. So don't forget to write down your name, where you're watching from, so we can give you a shout out later on. And again, don't forget your questions. I just want to quickly talk to you about what Rohe Foundation is all about. The Rohe Foundation is a nonprofit organization that advocates for adoption. We believe that adoption is God's idea, and it is His desire for orphans to be adopted into families. And our response is to develop programs that provide holistic care for pregnant women in crisis, to rescue babies before they are abandoned and disowned, and to guide families in their adoption journey. And you know what? The Rohe Foundation has been such a great help in our own adoption journey as well. So after this, do check out our website to learn more about Rohe, okay? So if you're not following Rohe Foundation yet, please like this page. And our website is rohefoundation.org. You'll find resources on adoption, learn how to get involved, and sign up for an adoption consultation. So if you're curious about adoption, whatever it may be, go to our website and you will find a lot of resources there. Well, we want to talk to you about what we're doing right now, and that is Family is the Answer, Siblings Edition. One of Rohe Foundation's programs is Family is the Answer, which aims to create a culture that celebrates adoption, especially here in our country, the Philippines. Well, last year, this was a series of events that equipped and educated families and churches across Metro Manila. In fact, my husband and I got to attend one of the forums by Rohe Foundation called Family is the Answer. And after that, it really prepared us to bring home our baby, because we brought her home just weeks after. Well, over the past few months, we've been doing that through live chats, and where we share amazing adoption stories that are truly worth celebrating. I think every adoption story is unique and beautiful and truly worth celebrating. We've had series with moms, What Makes a Real Mom, also with dads, called Love is Thicker Than Blood. And you can rewatch all of our previous episodes on our website. But tonight, for the very first time, and it's such a privilege, we are featuring siblings. To some of you who might have been following us for a while, tonight's guests may not be very unfamiliar to you. We feature their family story on our website, as well as a live chat for Mother's Day. And you may have seen a clip of that interview in the opening video earlier. Well, the Escosar family has inspired so many other families, especially one of them is my family, with their beautiful adoption story. Well, I will leave it to them to share it themselves, because I myself am excited to hear it from, a sibling's perspective. I won't keep you waiting. Please welcome Rachel and JD Escosar. Hi, Rachel and JD.
Hi, Sonj.
Welcome to Family is the Answer Siblings Edition. Thank you for joining us in our pilot episode. May ganon. Kamusta? How are you guys doing? What have you been up to? Can you just tell us a little bit more about yourselves, especially for the benefit of our viewers who are meeting you guys for the first time?
Sure, you want to go first?
Sure. Hey guys, I'm new here. My name is John Daniel Escobar. My friends call me JD, but my family calls me Daniel for some reason. So I'm a recent graduate from UV Diliman from Industrial Engineering. I'm the previous president of one of the orgs in UP. And aside from that, I am a musician and an athlete.
Talaga? Anong athlete? What sport?
Football.
Wow. Yeah. Nice. So musician. And si Rach, I know Rach sings. So nice.
I am not an athlete. I'm just kidding.
um, oh my gosh, wait, I lost. Okay. Right now I currently work for Every Mission Campus. I am a communications admin for Every Mission Campus Philippines. Um, I am also a singer for the youth services at Victory Fort. And yeah, mga ginagawa ko ngayon, work from home kami ngayon. So, yun ang kasi kaso.
Oh, tsaka you're busy with your wedding. How are the wedding preps
Oh yeah,
going on?
wedding preps. You know what? Wedding preps was already hard. Add the pandemic, and it's like, okay.
It'll be really, really exciting. Well, guys, again, welcome to Families the Answer Siblings Edition. Since we're talking about families, can you tell us about your family? Kamusta ang Escosar household? What is it like to be in the Escosar home?
Well, if there's one thing I can tell you about the Escosar household is it's very productive here.
Feeling ko nga!
Sobrang productive.
Sobra. So, for example, Dad, he's always busy with his ministry. He always has.
Hi, Pastor
When he's
June.
not working, he always likes to work around the house. He likes to innovate, plumbing. He likes to get down and dirty, the garden.
Yeah.
Then we have my mom. My mom, she has a lot of mentoring, a lot of classes, and then she also works out all the time.
She works out more than me.
Kaya naman pala, ang fit ni Miss Gigi Escosar. How to be you, Miss Gigi?
Then,
Ano pa ba?
Ano pa?
Ano pa?
Rachel, sometimes every night,
Bukod sa busy,
upstairs,
I'm
running
in
the
the
treadmill.
Seryoso?
May schedule kami. Like, my mom works out in the morning and then I work out at night, which is great naman. Kasi after work hours naman.
Yeah.
Yun.
Imagine ko na gano'n ka-busy. Kasi just looking at your dad, parang he's always doing something. Parang gano'n yung feeling ko kay Pastor June.
Well, gano'n.
Wow. Para lagi siyang may ginagawa.
Yeah.
Pero guys, you're like what I mentioned earlier, the Escosar story is something that a lot of our followers in Rohe Foundation, know about. Because Rachel, you're very vocal about your own adoption story. But, we also have people who are joining us for the first time, and it's nice that JD's here with us. Can you tell us briefly about your family story?
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, starting at the very beginning, when my parents got married,
Gusto ko yun. Sige.
partially related to her. So,
Okay,
in the very beginning, after my parents got married, a doctor actually told my mom that she couldn't physically bear children. So, of course, that was a really heavy blow. And I guess after 7 years, after their marriage, that's when they decided to adopt Rachel into the family.
Yeah.
Then 2 years later, ako na yun.
Miracle baby.
I love it. I love it. So, kumusta naman growing up ang inyong relationship as brother and sister, as siblings?
Kumusta nga ba relationship?
Ano ba? Lagi di ba kayo nag-aaway? Di ba? Kasi kami ng mga ate ko, lagi kami nag-aaway nung bata kami.
Nung babies kami siguro, nag-aaway. Syempre, unavoidable yun. Like, mga toys. Pero growing up, I can say that we've never had like yung intense away, yung parang never used my adoption against me. Yun, that's what I'm trying to say. Parang he's never said na wala kang karapatan kasi ako yung totoong anak. Like, he's never.
At the same other hand, pala, we've been homeschooled for around 10 years of my life. So it's like I spent pretty much 24/7 with Rach. So in that time, really got close. We have the same group of friends. We get to hang out a lot. And then, we bond through video games occasionally. Like we play Call of Duty Zombies. So really got close in many different ways. And we traveled together with the family. So really
ang saya naman. Plus, you're really close in age. So I can imagine parang you really grew up together, di ba? Parang magka-age lang kayo. So almost same nga din yung friends nyo and all that, diba? So, paano naman in-introduce ng family nyo sa inyo yung concept ng adoption? Like, I like hearing this story. How did you get introduced to the idea of adoption? How did your parents tell you were adopted? Or how did you, JD, how did you find out, okay, hindi pala same tummy yung pinanggalingan namin ni Rich?
Well,
Diba?
actually,
So, paano yung, sige, kwento nyo paano yung adoption paano nyo intindihan yung adoption? Or introduce ng parents nyo sa inyo yung adoption?
well, actually, unlike Rach, who vividly remembers the memory, I actually don't.
Okay.
Like, all I know is that when they told me, then they really just shared all their love, affection, and the attention on us that it really blurred the line between, adoption and biological. So it's like,
Yeah.
I love it.
Parang, I think like the time that, kasi bedtime story yun eh. So, he's also there kasi we sleep in the same room nung bata pa kami. So, they were explaining to me na with the book, the How I Was Adopted book, he was there, I think, from what I remember. Mom, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. From what I remember, he was there. But I think one of the major factors as to why it wasn't that difficult for us to, for him siguro, for us to, to get the concept of adoption was because our parents created this atmosphere, this safe environment na parang JD would also parang, because he would see how my parents would treat me, parang he's like, okay, wala palang diferensya. Na ano naman kung adopted siya, kung biological ako, wala naman diferensya pala kasi there's no difference naman in how they treat us.
True.
So, walang memory si JD paano? Parang, ikaw ba JD, di mo ba nagtanong? Kasi like 2 weeks ago, I was talking to LJ and Jimmy Alapag, and their eldest is also adopted. Tapos, yung younger sister niya, parang sinasabi, how come my brother, kuya, has a tummy mommy? How come I don't have a tummy mommy? Why is he more special than me? Ikaw ba, hindi ka nagtanong na parang, bakit si ate, bakit si Rach? Parang, ganda nung story niya, ba't ako parang iba? Did you ever have those thoughts na parang, is she more special because she's adopted? Parang ganyan?
Honestly, I never really put any thought into it. I just knew that my parents discipline us the same way, would treat us the same way, would love us the same way, buy us the same things, It's like, there's so many things that made me just lose the thought that she's adopted.
Yeah. Parang walang pangit na definition.
Yeah. Sobrang secure. Watching you guys right now, you're just so secure na parang, this is just how I came to the family. I just happened to come to the family because of through adoption, si JD biological. In fact, naaalala ko, nung Families to Answer Forum, si Pastor June, their dad, guys. Si Rachel, share yung story niya. And then, sabi ni Pastor June, by the way, John Daniel, he's secure naman, no? Hinahanap niya ko na I'm not sure if John Daniel is here. But he has no choice. We had no choice with him. With Rachel, we had no choice. We chose to bring her. Si John Daniel, wala naman kaming choice. Anak na lang namin siya. Like, ganun, ka-casual niyang kinwento. And it's so evident that you guys are just so secure in your family, in your relationship with each other. So would you say that adoption has strengthened your relationship even as brothers and sisters? Kasi yung iba parang sinasabi, nag-weekend. Pero ito, would you say adoption, you think, played a role in strengthening your relationship as brother and sister?
Yes, that's a definite yes for me. Well, kasi
elaborate, ayan.
Adoption shouldn't be thought of like adding a puzzle piece to already complete set. Adoption is something that strengthens the family because, for example, when we would go to the mall, okay, so mom and Rach, let's say they're checking out the girls section, enjoy sila doon, taga nila. Tapos it's like, let's just go to the cool boy section. And so, we'd go there, we'd bond, Rachel and mom would bond. And let's say when you go to a theme park, me and Rachel would be able to go to the rides together. Or if my mom and dad are taking so long somewhere, we would be able to be like, tara, let's go to the arcade. Let's go to the toy store. So we get to bond together. So
vibes kami.
Yeah, it's really hard to do these things alone. And with her there, it really increases the bonding of the family in the small scale. In the small scale. Yeah.
JD, what's the best part about having a sister like Rach?
Okay.
Ayusin mo
If-
sagot mo.
In one
May
way,
banta.
it would definitely be the companionship. Actually, may kwento ako.
Hala.
So,
Go,
you know,
kwento mo na.
like, for example, after I'm a long day of working out, a long night of working out, once in a while, I get a knock on my door. Tapos when I open it, Rachel's holding a plate with a grilled cheese sandwich. Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Noted.
And then once in a while, she'd knock on my door. Oh, JD, I'm ordering milk tea. Do you want some also? Yes, thank you. So this is really part of having it works. But in general,
She feeds you.
yeah, she feeds me a lot.
You're welcome.
So I really like that about having an older sister. It's really nice.
So in short, nanglilibre.
Nanlilibre, pinapakain. Ikaw, Rach, what's the best part about having JD as a younger brother?
The best thing about JD is that even though he's the younger brother, he's sometimes also an older brother. Like even though he's younger than me, he's very wise. He just knows when to like on and off it. But anyway, yeah, and he's also like an older brother, but at the same time, ayun, automatic bodyguard. Automatic bodyguard.
Sino ba yan? Sino ba yan?
Sino yun? Sino yun? Oh, tabi kayo.
Tingin siya sa'yo.
Ayun, tapos ano pa ba? May automatic best friend ako sa bahay. Lalo na nung quarantine. Parang, I feel like it's really hard to, I'm not saying na being, a single child is, a sad thing. Pero, it's a blessing to have it. Pero, I am so blessed to have another kid in the house na around my age. And growing up with this person and who probably knows me best apart from my parents. So, yeah.
Aww. Na-imagine ko tuloy yung anak ko pag nagkaroon na siya ng kapatid.
Yeah.
Your guys are an inspiration for us. Wow. And then, grabe. Any funny stories do you remember of growing up na shinare ng parents sa inyo about adoption and how you were as siblings na pwedeng naalala nyo or hindi nyo naalala, nakinwento lang sa inyo? Any funny stories do you remember about your relationship growing up?
I had one, I forgot. What was the
Wag alalahanin mo.
Okay. It's not really from parents, pero when my friends would see me and then I would introduce my sister, they'd just be like,
"Oh
wow,
yeah,
JD, you're so dark. Your color is so different." So I'd be like,
cream po kami.
she uses a lot of papaya soap, a lot more
Thanks.
than I do.
Grabe, thank you sa paglalaglag mo. Magkapatid talaga kayo. Nilalaglag ka ng kapatid.
Ano pa ba mga memory ko? Oh, there was several times nung bata pa kami. Like, pumunta ako ata sa high school mo. Sa high school niya. Tapos narambulan no? Nagkaguluhan. Kasi sabi nila, JD, girlfriend mo yon. Tapos parang kumayak.
Yak naman talaga. Ano ba yun?
Excuse me, no? Kapatid ko po yan. Okay.
Oh?
Tapos sabay back off siya.
We look so
different, yeah. Pero it's funny kasi I look like my mom and my brother looks like my dad. So parang...
Yes, I would say na parang I won't, like, you guys, parang you're related biologically yung dating sa akin. Parang I wouldn't think na Rach is Ang galing, no? Ang galing lang. Kasi I even remember, Rach, before I found out that you were adopted, I even told you, Rach, kamukha mo si Pastor Jun. Sabi mo, talaga? Kamukha ko parang, and in my mind, parang kamukha mo talaga yung daddy mo. Ang galing. Sobra. Pero like, any story specifically, like aside from reading the book na how I was adopted, any specific stories how your parents really incorporated adoption, like you having a healthy view of adoption, you celebrating adoption, and ano yung mga laging sinasabi ng parents sa inyo about adoption and how much they love you guys. Kasi you guys, 'di ba, parang looking at you, sobrang celebrated yung adoption sa family niyo.
Ayun. referring what I said earlier, na it was a team effort that all of them created like a safe place for me. So parang it became nga an environment of celebrating adoption. Parang there was never a time na they would always remind me or him na, oh, you have to be conscious of your sister kasi nga adopted siya. Or make sure that you don't say these things to your sister kasi she's adopted. Parang they never did that. It would always just be equal treatment na parang, we love you, we also love your sister, or we love you, we also love your brother, we love you both. Parang unconditional love to both of us equally.
That's so beautiful. You want to add to that, JD?
No lang.
Well, the
Anything?
nice thing about how our parents handled it is, exactly. They did not emphasize it. They did not make us focus on it and just constantly remind us that no, Rachel's adopted. No, after telling us, it was normal. They just loved us. We just really felt the love, we felt the joy, and we became happy. And that's it. We didn't mind it anymore. I was proud of it too. I tell my friends, "Oh, she adopted," because we were just. I keep hearing negative things about adoption. Like, what? It's very strange to me. It's very new how adoption is a bad thing. Because Rachel, you're like best friends. So,
I love what you said. Na parang, hindi ko alam na adoption pala is a bad thing na tingin dito sa Pilipinas. Just by looking, you were learning so much about even more how adoption is in a family, and it's just so beautiful, and it inspires me, di ba? So JD, when you do tell your friends na, oh, Rachel's adopted, anong reaction nila?
Actually, they're the ones that are close to us that never really found out before. They'd be amazed because they're like, "Wow, you're really close." Parang di halata na adopted siya. Like, how can we be that seamless to then adopted? No, we're really just that close.
Yeah, parang hindi namin naintindihan bakit sila sobrang shocked.
Yeah. Diba, why are you
Why are you shocked? Like, wala naman difference, diba? Wala. Okay. Edi good.
Yeah.
Rachel, it's so nice, no? Kasi you even wrote about, you wrote an article on Rohe Foundation. I'm not Rohe Foundation, Every Nation Campus about your adoption story and your relationship with JD. And that's so, gusto ko maghanap ng quotes, hindi ko na mahanap yung mga quotes na So nung sinusulat mo yung article na yon, ano yung mga parang nasa isip po about how you would view JD, mga naaalala mo sa kanya? What was going on in your mind na while you were recalling these memories with your brother? Parang may special ka bang naaalala, or what was just going on to your mind as you were writing that article?
Sige. Pwede ba ako mag-backstory for that article?
Oo naman. Oo.
Okay, so sobrang galaw ni Lord to, sa totoo lang. Kasi the last time I've written anything that long was nung college pa.
Wow.
I promise, hindi ako nagsusulat ever. So parang, that was really just something from the Lord. Like, out of nowhere. Like, the same night, umupo lang ako for like 2 hours. And then that was the result. Parang God just moved something in my heart to talk about adoption that day. And then, consciously, I knew that we were talking, on that same week, I knew that we would be talking about biological and adopted siblings. So I wanted to touch on that talaga. Na parang, okay, great, you're adopted. This is the gospel behind adoption. Then what? Like, what's the great thing? So I wanted to touch on my relationship with my brother. Kaya, if I can kind of remember that part, what I really like about it is that God's love reflects to the Gentiles and the Jews. Because like in a family, like he's the Jew and I'm the Gentile. Because technically, siya yung may blood right, birthright. Pero ako yung parang pumasok lang ako. So I was trying, that was the analogy behind that whole part of it, na parang I was just taken in. And the way that the world sees adopted children now are like the way that the people back then would see Gentiles. So it's just nice how it ties in all together. Na parang the reason why JD and I can understand that we have full access as children of my parents is because we both understand that we equally have rights as a Jew and
I
a
love
Gentile as their children.
it.
So parang it created that, it reflected that same passage from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Actually, ito, nahanap ko na pala yung gusto kong i-mention. When you said here, we had the same level of access to our parents, the same level of love and attention, and the same rights as their children. My brother's a cool guy. I'm so blessed to have a sibling that never used my adoption against me. I love that we never talk about how one has more rights over the other simply because of the way we were added into the family. Oo nga naman, di ba? Parang, uy, mas may rights ako sa'yo kasi ako CS ako. Pinanganak. Uy, ako mas may rights ako dahil natural birth. Parang it doesn't make sense. Di ba? And it's the same way na parang adoption is really just how one child comes into the family. So thank you, Rachel, for sharing that and for writing that article. I will share that article later on again kasi shinare ko nung last time. I'll reshare it. Well, later on, we will be answering questions from the audience. So guys, mag-type na kayo ng questions nyo para masulit natin ng time natin with JD and Rach. But habang naghihintay tayo ng questions inyo, while we're waiting for your questions, we would like to play a game. Bagong-bago in Family is the Answer. O, diba? We will show a phrase on the screen and we want to ask what you guys think. So yung first things that come into your mind. So may phrase and then I'll ask Rachel ano yung naisip mo and then JD will come next. Or kung ano man yung first thing that comes into your mind when you see the phrase. Are you guys ready? Ready? Okay, game na. Okay, first phrase. Ampon ka lang.
Lo. Ay.
Ikaw, Rach.
Ampun ka lang. It's a limiting sentence. There we go. It's a sentence that implies limitation. Kasi parang ayun nga, like we were talking about earlier. Ampun ka lang kasi is a common statement that I hear a lot growing up when we watch like teleseries from other places or radio commercials or whatever. So it kind of implies that adopted kids have a limitation or have like parang hanggang dito lang yung access mo and then you get So ayun, that's the word that I feel like pops up to my mind when I hear the statement ampun ka lang.
Were you ever told that by somebody else?
No. Wala silang lakas gumanon sa akin.
I love it!
Wala. Pero I heard people joke about it before. Like I would hear friends. No. Like I would like, kunwari there's a post na ampun ka lang joke and then may magko-comment na friends and I'd be like, hi.
Hindi siya funny. Parang gano'n. Oh. Ikaw, JD, ampun ka lang. What comes into your mind?
They welcome to the family.
Wow.
But yeah, honestly, I can't imagine someone adopting a child without the goal of loving them equally or loving them as much as they love their other children. It's a very strange term, a phrase that shouldn't exist.
Gusto ko yan. It's a phrase that shouldn't exist. Isang malaking image. Naalala ko to yung sabi ni Rachel, especially let's say if you've been because we've all been adopted. If you give your life to Jesus, you're adopted into His family, and so sabi ni Rachel, ampun ka lang. So what? Ikaw din, ampun ka lang. Ampun lang din naman ako, di ba? Inampun lang ako ni Lord. I love it. It's a phrase that shouldn't exist outside of, I guess, adoption into the family of God, I guess.
Yes.
Ito, next phrase.
G.
Next phrase. Real sibling. What is that even?
May fake sibling.
Oo nga, may fake ba? Gusto ko yun.
What comes to your mind when you think real sibling?
Honestly, I'd say that is exactly what Rach is. For 23 years of my life, we've been living in this household, at least me. be living in this household together. And, I can 100% and confidently say that Rachel is a true sibling to me. So that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Gusto ko yung positive yung outlook mo. I'm just like,
Tama. Tama. Parang, like, your mom's your real mom.
Yeah.
Diba?
Very true.
We don't have
I love it. Rachel is your real sibling. Ito, next phrase. Favoritism.
Ano yun?
Ano yung...
May dictionary ka ba?
Wala, ito.
Parang,
Kunin ko
hindi ko yun alam.
Paki-Google.
That word does not exist in the Escosar household.
Miriam, ano yan?
Miriam, paki-explain. Webster. Ano? Uy, gusto ko yan. I guess. Well, you can say that JD is your favorite sibling.
Oo, kasi is my only...
Diba?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Wala siyang choice. Oy guys, habang sinasagot ni Rachel and JD tong phrases ito, do send in your questions.
Yes.
And they will be happy to answer it for you. Okay. But in the meantime, next phrase.
G.
#think generations.
Oh.
That's a packed statement. Mauna na si JD. Sige, ikaw. Mr. JD Escosar.
Di masyado akong familiar doon, but the only thing that I do know about it, I think, is na when you adopt someone, you don't just change a life, you impact a generation. It's like the future children that Rachel will have, iba talaga yung dating, like iba talaga yung love that she will give them because of the love that she's received from both God and our family. And it might have been different if she was not adopted. There might have been rejection, there might have been so many negativity, and the difference between her children's children after that will be very, very different, and that will go on forever. And just because of one adoption, a lot of things change. Go.
Yun. Copy paste.
Copy paste.
Copy paste. Control C. But yeah, same. I just wanted to resound that. I think we talked about this before with my dad. Hindi ko alam kung maalala. But yeah, parang we were thinking one time na parang, oo nga no, parang what would happen? Like imagine that whole bloodline of that child that you took into the family. Parang that child is not going to experience hardship. And then, or that child is not going to experience not having a family. And that child's future child is not going to experience what it's like to not have a family. And so, and so, and so. But so when you adopt a child, yun nga, like what he said, you're affecting an entire generation that's to come. So if I know the truth of the good news, my children are going to know that. My children's children are going to know that. It's going to make a long impact in advancing in God's kingdom.
Yes.
So, kahit isang bata lang yun, no, ang daming naaapektuang buhay in the long run.
Yes, thank you so much for that, for reminding me of that. That makes me so excited even more for my own daughter. Thank you, Rachel. Ito, last sa game natin. Last phrase before we answer ang dami ng questions, guys. I love it. Okay, te. Bago tayo magsagot ng question. Okay. Next phrase. Adoption for your future family. Go! Ano ba? Na-speechless kayo.
Okay. So, my target, I'd say, children in the future, maybe is around 3 to 4 to be safe. So, if I get any less than that, then I'd be happy to adopt. Actually, after seeing how great and how positive and how healthy it is to have an adopted child into the family and how wonderful it can be, then I'm really more than happy to adopt a child in the future. For sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Woody?
Me, yeah, my fiance and I actually talked about this before now because he's also an adoption advocate. So I'm really happy about that. So we've already talked about it. Would you want to adopt a child? And he's just like, yeah, let's adopt a child. Like, parang, so for me, I feel like if there's a child that needs a family, we're ready to just go jump in there. Can you imagine if the child grows up and they'll be like, like, you can't use that line on me. I was also adopted. Wag kang ano. If you wouldn't know you're not adopted, I'm like, joke's on you.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. Oh, yes. So it's a yes. It's a yes. Siyempre, pareho kay adoption advocate. Ito, are you ready for questions na?
Yeah.
Okay, ito, first question. There are some siblings who don't always see adoption as a good thing. And like you guys, how do you feel we can change that culture idea for young people or for children?
Well, I'd say, it's really the little things.
That's from Esther pala. That's from Esther Susan.
Hi, Esther.
Esther.
Sobrang close naman yan.
Yeah, family.
So, I guess it's the little things that count, like your movement, your advocacy. These are things that people will really listen to.
Yeah.
These are things that I'm pretty sure will really impact a lot of readers out there. And slowly by slowly, as you progress this growing foundation with you and other advocates that come into the whole fold, it will really make a change in the future. That's what I do.
Okay. So a wider scale, I'll narrow it down. Some siblings who don't see adoption as a good thing. I think I don't want to put pressure on the parents, pero I feel like young couples who are considering adoption or already have kids, maybe. It's really the responsibility of the existing family to create that mindset, to create that safe space. For example, yeah, it's the parents' responsibility talaga.
True.
Like, to really give them that. Kasi if you don't hone that mindset sa kanila na parang it's like it's a great thing, they're not gonna think that way.
True.
Yes.
It starts with how you condition, the atmosphere in your household in the first place.
Exactly. It will be an issue with the siblings if it's an issue with the parents to begin with, diba? So I totally agree with that. So parents celebrate adoption, then your kids will celebrate their adoption stories. Okay, next. Ito something like, what activities or event in your life you remember na talagang super nag-bond kayo? This is from Ann Marzo. What activities or an event in your life where you really bonded with each other?
Hi, Ann. Girlfriend niya.
Hi. Thanks for watching.
Question, what are activities or event in your life where you really bonded? I think one time was when kaka-graduate lang niya. And then I randomly called him, hey, do you want to go out? And then sakto, he was gonna buy a video game for his graduation gift, to himself. Tapos nagulat na lang siya na ako pala yung nagbayad for the game. So ever since, parang every time nagyayaya ako na lumabas kami, like, uy, tara, alis tayo. Sige, game, alis tayo. Parang after that, yeah.
Yun lang pala yung sikreto. Ikaw, JD, another memory you wanna share?
Related, I really enjoy our little Call of Duty. She's good, She's really good at playing video games. And then this is the type of thing where mawala na yung pagka-poise and grace. Talagang nawala na yung barriers namin. We become super close. And I enjoy those.
Yeah.
Nag-aaway din ba kayo habang naglalaro?
Pag hindi niya ako nare-revive,
you get super competitive?
Support! Hoy! Namatay ako! Ano ba? Bomb!
You guys are so cute. Okay, thank you, Anne, for engaging with us tonight. For full support sa iyong boyfriend at kay Rachel. Okay, ito. Next question. Hi, Rachel and JD. Some families adopting now may be wondering, what's it like 10, 20 years from now? What is that journey like as a family? Do you have any tips for families who are considering adoption on how to maintain a harmonious and loving relationship in the family? Sabi ni Liza. Raza. Hi, Ate Lisa.
Hi, Ate Lisa. Well.
Sige, you go first. If you have an answer. You don't? Okay.
Come on.
Ako na, okay. Some families adopting now may be wondering what it's gonna be like, You mean like from now?
Yung
10
iba tao nagko-consider sila na mag-aada, parang, kamusta kaya magiging life namin as a family 10, 20 years from now? So I guess, you did kind of touch on it earlier, starting with the parents, no? So for those considering adoption, how do you practical tips on how this family can maintain a harmonious and loving relationship with each other? How love will be I guess how love will be magnified in a family, parang ganyan.
Well, in a family talaga, I feel like the love of God is always your foundation for everything. So when you understand that talaga, it becomes automatic in the family. So parang because you understand the safe love of God, parang you also want to create that safe love in the family. So parang nagiging culture na siya. So it really starts from the beginning.
Tama.
And it really I guess it worked kasi until now, parang ganun pa rin kami. I feel like even after I'm married, like may mga usapan na some weekends uwi kayo dito, let's have dinner on Sundays, let's have mga ganon, let's attend church together pa rin. Parang we're still tight as a family until now.
Yeah. Regardless naman if your children are adopted or not, it's really important for parents to just teach your children values, teach them teach them to be future leaders, teach them to be godly, share the gospel. And eventually, God will really just bless the relationship.
Right.
Tama. Parang non-issue, parang hindi nga pumapasok ng adoption doon eh. Parang just having that culture in a family, whether you have adopted child or not, parang si God talaga foundation ng bawat pamilya.
Exactly.
So, totally agree. Ito, from Trix Clasara. Hi, Trixie!
Hi.
Thanks for watching. Sabi niya, where do you think parents should draw the line between not really making adoption a big deal, or a big thing, or something that makes you different, but also celebrating your adoption story? Kumbaga, hindi mo siya i-big deal dahil, kagaya sa inyo, di ba, parang gala namang difference, parang adoption wasn't a big deal down the line, but at the same time, making your family celebrate your adoption story.
Great.
Yeah, I can answer that, and then if you have anything. That's a good question, actually. Kahit ako, I don't really know how we're able to balance from big thing to not that big of a deal. Siguro, ano ba? So, for my personal experience, I make it a big deal, as in what makes me different when it's like, ano ba? How do I explain this? I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't know how to say it.
Sige, go lang. Kaya mo yan.
Not making adoption a big thing. I guess it's no big deal if it's like people, like when they overreact, na parang, you're ganito, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, what? It's not a big deal. We're just like, we grew up together. But then if it's like what makes me different, it's kind of like, I guess I use that when I'm trying to, share the advocacy ng adoption. So I'm like, okay, I came in differently. That's great. That's amazing, and I'm proud of it. I guess I use that when I'm trying to tackle the topic of the ampon ka lang mindset. Parang, okay, yes, I am different, but the reason why it's good that I'm different is blah 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 blah. Parang, does that make sense?
Yeah. And at the same time, I think it's celebrating the fact that you're adopted, but you're treated the same way as your sibling. So parang yun yung hindi big deal. Kung paano ka mahalin, paano ka tratuhin ng parents mo, ng pamilya mo, yun yung hindi big deal. Pero celebrating adoption, then that's celebrating adoption, and that's what makes you special. Parang that's how I'm seeing it, diba? Ikaw, what about you, JD? Do you wanna have anything to add to that? Kasi from your perspective, we celebrate the fact that Rachel is adopted, but it's no big deal when it comes to our relationship. Parang ganon yung nakikita ko sa inyo.
Well, yeah, I'm happy that they celebrated that, mom and dad and Rach. But yeah, I agree too. Na celebrate it on the start, parang one time, big time, and afterwards, it just becomes normal. Like for me, I never treated it as a big deal ever, like what Rachel said, I never used it against her because to me, it wasn't a big deal at all. But of course, I celebrated with them how wonderful it is to have something like that, you know, blossom into something as beautiful as this.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, guys. Well, thank you to all those who sent in their questions. And we wanna just give a shout out to our viewers. Mag-hello tayo sa ating mga nag-comment. Sabi ni Liza, ito sa Ate Liza ulit. Grabe, it's not obvious that Rachel is adopted. You guys are so close. Super nakaka-bless. Kudos to your parents for nurturing your relationship. #sibling goals. O, diba? Sibling goals. Hello nga pala. Nga pala, nanonood yung asawa ko. So, hello, Fidel. Hi, love.
Hello. Hi, Kuya P.
Sabi niya, so proud of you guys. So proud of you, Rachel and John Daniel. Talagang John Daniel, diba?
Yes. Oh.
Talagang John. Parang kompleto. O, diba? Ayan.
Bigay ko kaya sa'yo.
Ano daw? Ano sabi mo?
Konti na
Naku,
lang.
pag binigyan mo ng papaya soap yung asawa ko, hindi ko na siya makikita. Sobrang I'm not even kidding you. It's blindingly bright.
Oh my God.
His legs are blindingly white. So, please, wag na papaya soap. Oh, my sister! My sister is watching. Sabi na, we met Pastor June yesterday. I think, kasi sa Victory Alabang ba? Sa Alabang? Oo. Hindi, tsaka, Alabang ba? How did they meet? Or sa Las Piñas? Or Parañaque, one of those. Ayan.
Yeah.
That's my sister watching. Yeah, daughter niya yung magbe-birthday sa January 24.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Anyway, yeah. Oy, Jam, UP represent.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, feeling UP ako. Hindi ako nag-aaral dito. Pero go Universidad ng Pilipinas. Oh, I love it. Celebrate adoption. Amen. Amen to that. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. And it's so refreshing. And you know what? Looking at you guys and hearing you guys talk, it's a vision for me as a parent to see how my daughter will be. We don't know when we're gonna be blessed with another child, but we do want her to parang inisip ko, okay na, masaya na tayong tatlo. Pero if I'm thinking of her, gusto ko siya magkaroon ng kapatid para may kalaro siya, para may best friend siya. So, yeah. So, hopefully, baby brother, ewan ko yung tatay niya lagi sinasabi na, Milana, do you love your baby brother? Parang wala pang baby brother. I love your baby brother.
Advance.
Declare na. Advance siya mag-isip.
Poppy muna daw, poppy muna.
Oo. Guys, how can our viewers connect with you guys if they want to chat with you or connect with you? How will they do that?
Facebook.
Social media.
I'm on Instagram, Rachel_Escosar. You can find me there.
Ikaw, JD.
JD Escosar. Just search it and walang ate yung JD Escosar.
Walang iba. Again, thank you so much, Rachel and JD, for joining us. And it was really a fun night full of wisdom and insight. Sobrang dami kong natutunan sa inyo guys. Thank you so much I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to chat with you guys. And to our guests, to our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. If you have an adoption story that you want to share, please isulat niyo po yan sa amin. And do stay connected to Rohi Foundation. Our platforms are being flashed on the screen. Our website, rohifoundation.org, and our Facebook, Rohi Foundation, as well as our Instagram handle, Rohi Foundation. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless you. Bye, Rach. Bye, JD.
Bye. Thank you.
I was telling her, you sort of three dads. You have your biological dad, you know what it means, right? But putting in your head, you have your logical dad, and you have your real dad, So doing it this way until eventually, before she was 5, she was asking the questions, and we were able to sort it out really well.
We're here because adoption was God's idea, and we hope the church would catch on to that. And so that's really the heart of the Rohe Foundation.
You will impact generations of people. Because that person will be married, will have children, and children's children. I'll tell you, the impact you make in their lives will impact future generations of people. There are no unwanted children, just unfound families. I hope we can find some of them right here in this room.
This is the truth that the world needs to hear today. That adoption is at the very heart of the gospel.
And adoption is a beautiful thing. It's not plan B. We adopted because we saw just how beautiful adoption was in the Bible.